Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. So y'all all know that I love Catfish, and I want to tell y'all my top 10 favorite episodes in celebration of the show coming back for its 8th season. They have been on for 7 years now, and I'm still wondering how people can get catfish in this day and age. Like, if somebody don't have a camera and if somebody ain't trying to show you who they are, it's obvious they are catfish. But yeah, I also wanted to say, just in case, I do not own any of the catfish photos that I used in this video. Now let's get into the video.
Y'all gon' make me lose my mind.
Okay, so this is my number 10 pick of Catfish. This episode was in season 7, and it was called Mike and Joey. Basically, Mike got catfished by his friend Mikey, and I liked his reaction when he saw him. He was like, ew, no, get away from me. But then, they patched things up at the end, so that was kind of nice to see. And number 9 would have to be Miracle and Giovanni. In this episode, Neve's co-host was Charlemagne, and he was a little extra in that episode, but it ain't about him. It's about her. She had fell in love with this guy named Giovanni, but it turned out to be, well, at first they thought it was the husband, but actually he's like, I gotta show y'all something. I gotta show you something. And turns out it was his wife. I forgot what her name was, but basically she had like lupus, and this was her way of like having entertainment. So that is my number 9 pick. My number 8 pick would have had to be Lucas and Minnie. So there is Lucas. I forgot what his real name was, but basically he was catfishing like 400 women, and 3 of his victims stepped forward and like they stood up for themselves and said, why you still kept all them naked photos, and he had to delete them. And Neve got mad at him, so that was a good episode within itself. Number 7 had to be Joanna and Bo. Now, I recently just watched this episode. So, Bo was really this girl named Anna, and like Joanna got mad because she thought she was meeting this cute girl, and it was her, and she slapped her, and like basically she did want her back at the end, but turns out Bo had moved on to somebody else. And this is the Ari and Lanham episode. Now, Max had said in the episode, like, we hope to never find a 40-year-old man who is in crusty drawers just talking to young women. And he was the one, he wanted to marry her and everything. Ari thought he was the young guy, but he turned out to be this older guy. And it was just, I felt bad for her. But Max put him in his place like he always does, and we'll miss him on the show. And this is the Danny and Rosa episode. So there's Danny in the green, and the red is Jose. He actually ended up coming on Catfish himself, and he ended up getting catfish. Unfortunately, I did not include it in the list, but Danny was looking for this girl named Rosa, and basically Danny tried to help Jose through what he was going through. But I forgot what it was now. This is the 100th episode. I don't remember much from this episode, but I do remember that Machine Gun Kelly got mad at her for wasting his time, because he said, I could have been with my daughter on Father's Day. Like, she wasted his time basically claiming or saying she's a lesbian and blah, and I forgot whatever else happened in that episode. This is a Felicia and Jacqueline episode. So basically the girl on the right was using the girls on the left's pictures, and they got her, and she was just so happy to be on Catfish. Like, she actually wanted to be on the show. I still to this day think that she might have some like little issues going on that she might have to get checked for. This is a Jasmine and Mike episode from episode 1. Season 1. That is personally my favorite episode of season 1, where Jasmine and Missy, turns out Jasmine thought she was talking to this guy, but really it was her old friend, and like they had got into it and stuff, and she threw her rose at her. She was like, she didn't want my flower. Like, they really had a beef going on. And number 1 is Anthony and Tony. The guy thought that he really, because he doesn't really know how to use technology, and he thought he met this great guy, but it turned out to be his cousin, and she wanted to get revenge because she said, you shouldn't have called me a fat ass Kelly Price. And everybody loves that quote. I love that quote. Like, it's funny, but yeah, and they didn't talk for a while until like I think they had like a where are they now, a second one, and then they were talking again. Yeah, but that is pretty much my favorites on Catfish. If you want to see me do another show of episodes that I like, put it down in the comments, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.